TF Nerd, and today we are talking about Cobra Kai, the final season. This is the trailer for the part 3 part, and then I'm going to just review the final season of Cobra Kai, just my general thoughts. Here we go.
In the beginning, we were enemies. And through the years,
You want to finish this?
we've had our battles.
Bring it on.
All of us.
Come on! This isn't a tournament. There are no rules. But that's only made us stronger. I guess it was inevitable. We'd end up on the same side.
And no matter the alliances we've made,
One purpose.
Dude, I can't.
We're the friends who have had our backs. One team.
our enemies are still out there.
What would life be without a few surprises? We need to face those enemies and take them down once and for all.
To accomplish that as one,
We need to go back to where it all began.
I know things got out of control in Barcelona.
the kid died.
Oh, spoilers. Sorry.
What am I even fighting for?
I wish I had the answers for you, kiddo, but I don't know.
They should fear you, and if they don't, make them. You can beat Axel.
I gave it everything I had last time. Didn't make a difference.
Nobody deserves to get their ass kicked more than that bitch.
It doesn't matter what happened last time. It doesn't matter how many people are watching. I show these assholes how we do things in the valley.
Dude, whoever made that, give them a... I love, some of these trailers, especially, in this age where we have some trailers, well, they'll take a classic song and they'll, slow it down or integrate it into the trailer and the beat and all that stuff. I had no idea, I didn't think about it being, it's the your best around, until it really, just the editing on that was great. But let's talk about the show. Okay, so the final season of Cobra Kai, I was a little worried because it's the show is upset, it's off the rails. Okay, it's gone off the rails, but in a great way. What I love about this show is, so if you wanted the nitty gritty, the main themes of the show and everything, what it all meant and the whole point of it all you really have to do is watch seasons 1 through 3. You don't need to go any further than that. That's pretty much all you need. But if you go past that, there's a lot of fun to be had. Seasons 4, 5, and 6 are basically pie in the sky. What's the crazy sequel ideas that we could do if we were okay, we could do anything we wanted. What would we do? And they basically did just about everything. There's so many plot beats and story threads and character juggling throughout the entire final season that is they've dusted every corner of almost every character, and that's fine. And they ended it in ways that are just you could see it going on forever, but thankfully they just look, let's just all move on and it's all good and everybody's happy. I love that. So I said spoilers, so this is spoilers. So we're going to talk full spoilers right now. 3, 2, 1. Watch it. I think it's good overall. But I do have nitpicks. And that's why I got to get into spoilers a little bit. So there are some nitpicks. But I don't know how hard I could go on these nitpicks because it's at the end of the day, it's just a stinking dumb Karate Kid show. You know what I mean? And I think at this point they're embracing that because it's like I said, thematically, all like if you wanted pretty much everything you wanted, like thematically, that's seasons 1 through 3, and I think they're 3 perfect seasons. But I also think 4, 5, and 6, while they're like crazy, I also think they are perfect seasons because they don't sacrifice the character themes and like the sort of arcs that each of the characters go through. They kind of do that pretty well, I think, and they do a decent job of juggling multiple character arcs throughout the entire thing. And I was actually scared, especially with all this final season, even though it is technically a longer season. It is 5 episode blocks, and they are kind of structured that way. So I was worried. I was like, how are they going to be able to juggle these character threads across these different settings and also bring it all home? But they managed to do it. And yeah, it's convoluted and stupid half the time. And how all the rules don't matter. How things happen do not matter. And that's something I've started to embrace when it came to Cobra Kai, because at the end of the day, you just sort of want to see the rise and fall of characters, the relationships, and how they morph and change. Everybody becomes part of the family. It's kind of Fast and Furious style. And you just also want to see cool fight scenes. I will say there are aspects of this final season, like, in some ways it felt like it was cheaper than the previous seasons, but in some ways it seemed like it was way more expensive than the previous seasons. And ultimately, I think the fight scenes were pretty good, I think. But I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe in previous seasons the fight scenes are better, but maybe that's just because I've seen them multiple times and I saw this final season once. I'd have to watch it again, I guess, maybe, which I probably will. I watched Cobra Kai so many times over the last few years because of COVID and everything. So I stuck on it because it really did, like, especially early COVID, Cobra Kai got me through it. Like, it helped, like, it had so much motivation in it, and like, just, keep yourself up, keep fighting, keep going. And it's just so good. I like it. I appreciate it for that. And yes, that's all I gotta say about that. But no, now I gotta talk about some of the flaws. The flaws about this season. First of all, everyone has like 5 o'clock shadow, literally. Back in the day when critics would say that about some actors who have to play high school kids after sequel, I'm like, come on, give them a break. They're not that much older. This time it's like, yeah, these guys are all in college, going and pretending to be seniors in high school, and it is a little weird. But whatever, you just got to get over it. And also, I think it's because like they made it look so much more cinematic, I think, this final season, and I think it has pros and cons. Because on one hand, yes, the cameras look great. You can see everybody looks so dramatic and good, and there are scenes that I think are elevated by this extra, just cinematic scope. But then also, you kind of see the cardboard in places. You can kind of see the stinking ways they try to hide certain scenes, or maybe like they didn't have all the things figured out totally. I don't know. That's just my thing. And I noticed they were like quicker cuts, I feel like, this time around. So maybe it's like, well, it looks fancier, but why is it a little more choppy? That's my thing, but whatever. What else? Characters-wise and story-wise, I just kind of liked it. I like how they just managed to keep everything entertaining and just making sure to hit the certain story beats. Like with Johnny and Kreese, even though it's the same thing we've seen kind of over and over and over again, Billy who I don't know him personally, call him Billy, but William Zabka, he just like killed it in that scene. He was like, yeah, how much I wanted to stink and you ruined my life. Just that sort of thing. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I don't know if I love it or hate it. So this kid dies at this effing karate tournament. He pulls a knife, and he basically stabs himself on accident. But still, people could give a flip about that guy dying. Like, The only people that kind of cared was Cobra Kai, and they didn't even care that much. I was like, God dang it, dudes. I know he was a bad kid. Yes, he was an a-hole. Yes, he was going to try to kill somebody. But he's also just a kid. Seeking Chosen. How different was he than from Chosen when Chosen was a kid? You know what I mean? But nobody really gave a flip. And what's funny is, like, I was sitting there thinking it was going to be more of a big deal, and then, like, around, like, an episode or two later, they were like, oh yeah, F that kid. And I was like, what? Yeah, okay, F that kid then, whatever. So I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, I think it was good. I like, they really did tie everything all together. There were moments with Jolma Duena and William Zabka that were just, like, those two had the chemistry. They've been doing it, and they just know how to carry some scenes together. All the scenes with Miguel and Johnny are just peak scenes. And I also just love... Oh, there was one aspect I loved with Johnny. Because... So, Johnny's not that religious, but he has that one religious friend guy. And I almost was like, man, we're really doing this. But Miguel's grandmother was talking to Johnny and was like, you should get married, or so you got, so it looks good in the eyes of God, or something like that. Some stinking thing. And I was almost, like, a little annoyed. I am a little bit still. But beyond that, though, what I kind of liked about it was it didn't really matter if Johnny believed in it. It just mattered that he put in the effort to do it, just to make her happy. And also it showed his wife that, he was willing to go the extra mile and, like, really commit, like, hey, let's get married before this baby literally comes out right now. And also, it's the soap opera sort of dramaticness of, like, can we get a wedding while the baby's coming out and everybody's there, blah, 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 blah. I thought that was hilarious. That's the thing. It's a soap opera. Like, Cobra Kai... Basically, I mean, it always was a soap opera, but basically these last couple seasons, especially seasons 5 and 6, which I love them a lot, they're basically just karate-filled soap operas, which that's awesome, honestly. So, at the end of the day, what can you complain about? It's Cobra Kai, and Cobra Kai never dies. I am excited for the Karate Kid movie coming out with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, but I do hope Ralph Macchio is like, hey, can we get William Zabka up in here? At least for a cameo. Like, we should at least see Johnny on the big screen again, because Johnny himself brought Karate Kid back from the dead. Alright, anyway, like, comment, subscribe, goodbye! That's Cobra Kai.